There ain't no bad weather.
Nope.
There ain't no. I think you could do a southern thing.
I probably could. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Hello everybody, it's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. Danny's getting us all straightened up here, and he said there ain't no.
Our chat has disappeared.
What'd you do?
Come on. Everything's behind tonight.
Yeah, we're probably going to be buffering like crazy. I mean, we have no bad weather. But
no, it's actually beautiful outside other than the simple fact that it's about freezing.
It's in the 40s.
Yeah, it's
40s.
dropping really fast. It's in the 30s now. So
yeah, they've been telling us how cold it is in most places and stuff like that. And I've been watching the chat, and oh, I have to tell you.
Okay, what it is.
Y'all, should I tell him? I've been telling them what songs you were listening to as you were listening to songs.
Oh, really?
I was telling the names of the songs. It was funny. Because somebody came in and said Bellamy Brothers or Alabama. And I said, Alabama, but I do like Bellamy Brothers.
Yeah.
And then I told them what song you were listening to at the time. And then off and on when the song changed, I told them what songs you were listening to.
When I'm, and I want to say thank you to Ms. D for sending me all them pecans, because that's what I was doing. I was actually in there cracking pecans.
Yeah, I told them that too.
And I always just put my little laptop on loop, and I'll put it on like 90s country music or 80s country music or whatever, and it just goes through the loop. You know, I don't necessarily choose a song. It's just that a song comes on, and I'm just sitting there cracking pecans, listening to music.
It was funny, the songs that come up.
Yeah, they but it's guys, Wanda and I have busted our tail all day today. I was out at daylight this morning with looking like 40-mile-an-hour winds. It was horrible.
The wind was crazy.
It was crazy.
During the night, I woke up and the wind was so crazy. And then when we got up this morning, you could hear it. Almost the walls creaking.
It was creaking the walls in my house. And when that happens, I'm like, I woke up and I heard the walls creaking. I was like, what in the world? I said, is the wind that bad? And man, I cracked my head out the door, and I was like, this is like gale force winds. You know, it's like we was having a hurricane. And the house was creaking and cracking and everything. And I was like, well.
And we really thought we'd go out and see some damage as far as like trees, the limbs out of the trees, because we have lots of dead limbs lots of times fall. But I guess the last time we got that wind a few weeks ago blew all the limbs out because we didn't have any limbs on the ground.
There was a couple of little bitty ones, but no.
Not like before.
Nothing like before.
I picked up limbs, and I'm still picking up limbs from the time before. And as far as trees, plants, no damage to anything in the last 24 hours. Except the onions got blew over a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of like leaned them all in one. They were all standing up pretty and tall, and it broke the tops of them in half because they were like 2 foot tall, and it broke them down. They were like a 1 foot tall, and then it leaned them all in one direction.
Somebody's asking,
have I heard the news? Guys, I don't listen to news.
Before we go live, we really don't.
I don't listen to any news.
So if something's happened, we don't know.
I do know about something happening.
Well, I played around with people here, and we chatted back and forth, so I hadn't seen anything, and he was listening to music. So if it happened in the last 45 minutes, we have no clue.
Well, I know that there's several things I do know. I know that Zelensky's wanting to meet Putin in Jerusalem. I know that. I know that
Iran was bombed.
I know Iran bombed our embassies in Saudi Arabia. I know that happened several hours ago.
Iran hit Iraq, the U.S. embassy. That's what I saw. That was a while, an hour.
They also hit Saudi Arabia.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
I didn't see that.
They hit our what do they call it? Not commissaries, but another one of our facilities in Saudi Arabia. Also, they hit Iraq.
They bringing us into this, whether we like it or not.
Iran has promised that they're going to strike the United States. And technically, it's Russia going through Iran
They're
doing
saying
this.
something just happened. So.
Yeah. It's, guys, I could have told y'all this was coming, but I'm not allowed to say a lot of things on YouTube that'll get me in trouble. And you haven't seen the last. Let me say that. There's something greater than this coming. My greatest... A lot of people want to know what my greatest thing is that I worry the most about. It's not about nuclear warfare. It's not about EMPs. It's not... I am concerned about a CME, a coronal mass ejection, because I think that could really happen. But my biggest thing right now is I'm looking for Putin to use a thermobaric bomb.
U.S. Air Force Base was hit.
Yeah. I'm looking for Putin to use a thermobaric bomb. If you don't know what a thermobaric bomb is, look it up. I'm not going to go into the details of it. It's the most devastating weapon that you can use.
Yeah. So we do know there's a lot going on tonight. There's been a lot going on.
There's a lot going on out there.
But we're not going to get into too much of it tonight.
No, I mean, the stuff I found out this past week about what's coming as far as our weather's concerned and stuff like that will really, I mean, guys...
The weather's going to get crazy.
What we're experiencing now is not natural. Let me tell you that. It is supernatural what we're experiencing. When you go from 70 and 80 degrees and you drop down into all of a sudden 24 degrees and you've got gale force winds, and then tomorrow you're back up in the high 60s and the sun's shining bright and all this kind of stuff. This is not natural. This is a man-made and a how should I say this and it sound right? It is not only man-made, it's planetary made. Let me put it, if that makes sense.
Part of the binary system working.
There's a binary system out there that's coming into our solar system that's actually making this stuff happen.
Yeah.
You know, I did find out this past week for sure that Tonga that went off was not a natural event. It was something else that was created by another country, did that. And they proved it actually took 3 nuclear warheads to do this. And that was very interesting when I found all this out. And raising us, yes, HARP is playing a huge part in what's going on.
Flannel Farm, somebody said he just had a live stream. Danny did a podcast with Flannel Farms yesterday. It'll be aired when?
Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central Time, if he gets it edited. The Flannel Farm Brian will put a video up with mine and his interview if he gets it edited. And
it'll be a premiere?
Yeah, it'll be a premiere.
Danny and I can jump in and chat with people during... I haven't heard it. I had my granddaughter and her boyfriend here. Faith and Paul were here. And we visited while Danny did the interview, so I haven't even heard his interview. I'll be anxious to hear it tomorrow night. I almost read one. I'm like, nope, never mind. Y'all, tonight I want to give away some stuff, and it's going to be to kind of help you guys more along the way. We had 2 people send us stuff this week and said, just send it to people. We want to help people. We want to get this information out. And so I am not trying to sell the books. These are Ron Foster's, wherever I'm at. Whoa, this way.
Right here.
But we are putting a link up for people because they're going to ask, where can I get them? And so these 2 books, and then we have some doTERRA. And I'm going to be giving away 3 of each one. So we're giving away 6 books and 3 bottles of doTERRA essential oils tonight. And so I'd say, what time is it? Let's do this around 8:20 or so. We'll do the first question, and you have to be in here to win, and you have to send me an email so that, I really need the email tonight. And so Miss Lippy and Miss Allison will be putting things up as it comes up, but we're going to be giving away 6 books and 3 essential oils to help you guys in the future.
Somebody asked, how wide is our new high tunnel?
Yeah, they were asking that.
It was 24 feet wide.
Yeah. And how long is it? 36?
32.
32? Okay. The ones we have are 36. That's right.
Yeah, it's 32. It's 24 feet wide, 32 feet long.
Yes, okay. That's what I couldn't remember exactly. I knew they kept asking, and I couldn't remember the dimensions. So,
yeah, guys, I am so tired of manipulated weather. I mean, literally.
There's flannel farms
I
popping.
am literally, what's going on right now, like I mentioned a while ago, is not natural. And I am just about wore out with having to put up with manipulated weather because it's making it very difficult for people to grow anything, and they're doing it on purpose. I mean, it's not like it's just evil. It's pure evil. Everything is bloomed out here. I mean, everything's in full bloom, and they go and do this to us, and it just irritates me. I can't help it. It just irritates me.
All right, guys. The author, Ron Foster, of this book and this book is in the house. Y'all tell Ron thank you. We gave away 2 of these over on Patreon yesterday, and so our winners, you guys can thank Ron. It's what did I say? M-I-N. How does he spell it?
Oh,
you don't know it's Ron Foster.
No, you don't know it's Ron. It's M-M-N-T-Z or something like that.
Let me see if I can find it. Ron, you're gonna have to put your name on the chat. Just say, "Hey, I'm Ron" or something, so they know who Ron is. And Ron pops in and out of our chats off and on for the last couple of years. And when he sends, there it is. Jesus did it. Thanks for writing the books. But Ron pops in and out, and he sends us books from time to time to bless you guys. And the Bug Out Gardening Guide is not about bugging out. I mean, you can bug out and garden, but you can use these tips at home. And then the Old Fart Survival Guide is just all kinds of information like crazy on how to survive off what you have at your house.
And I know some people, guys, I want to say something here also with what's going on right now with the weather, because that's what we're here supposed to be talking about tonight, is I want y'all to pay attention to something. They're dropping the humidity down to where it's unbelievably low. And I know that doesn't seem like a bad thing because people live where there's lots of low humidity. But if the humidity stays too low for too long, it's very damaging, not only to plants, it's damaging to humans. It puts us under high fire risk that you can't burn anything. I mean, there's lots of things that goes along with dropping the humidity like that. And not only that, when you drop the humidity like that, that's a sign that they pulled all the moisture out of the clouds, and they're experimenting with weather warfare. And I know a lot of you guys may not believe in weather warfare, but there's actually military documents out there. If you go looking for them, I'm not going to spoon feed them to you. They're there that talks about, this started in the 1940s, about them controlling the weather in order to control people and to control food.
Yeah, and there was something I was going to, I don't remember what I was going to say about that. We covered a lot of stuff. And Danny would come in and tell me about the, what were you just talking about? The humidity.
Yeah.
Our humidity here, thank you, Shara Farms. Shara Mills, I'm sorry. Title where you are being...
Tithe.
Thank you. The humidity here is usually anywhere from 75% to nearly 100.
You're right at 100, yeah.
And for it to be 15 to 25% is like unheard of, especially when it's been raining and the weather coming through like it is. Our humidity is crazy. So for it to be so low, that's just not natural.
Yeah.
Operation Popeye in Vietnam.
That would be true.
Thank you, Billy. Billy's a wonderful way to find a lot of knowledge about history.
This is true.
Permapastures Farm Studies History. He is your history buff. Y'all can go ask him anything.
Yep, let's see, who's this? Carl Price 64. You're exactly right. U.S. Air Force on the weather 2025. I could tell you some other things about the United States Air Force right now, but I think I'm going to hold off about it.
Carrie said she did a book report about it in high school.
Yep.
I actually studied and read a book back in the 90s, late 90s, that was on weather manipulation and weather control.
Yeah.
And I do not remember the name of the book, but the cover of the book, like this, had the wind stations all over it. And that was the most interesting reading back in the 90s I'd done in a long time, because I didn't think they could control the weather until I read that book. And that was in the mid to late 90s. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
So,
Lisa says, I don't understand how the weather can be manipulated. Lisa, we have so much stuff out there. As a matter of fact, there is about 14 different locations, it may be 15 different locations on the face of the earth right now that they have different HAARP, HAARP systems set up. One of them's in Alaska. The big one's in Alaska. It's nothing but radio antennas and stuff. You have to pull it up online and look at it. They send out frequencies and waves through the air. They're doing cloud seeding, chemtrailing. I watched a whole bunch of stuff military-wise on chemtrailing that will blow your mind about what the military's been doing with chemtrails. They started out by trying to eject aluminum into the atmosphere to reject satellites from being able to see the Earth while they moved nuclear weapons around back in the early 60s and 70s. And then since then they've used things like strontium, barium, all these type of stuff that causes breathing problems in people. Now, the latest I got this week is that they're putting pathogens in what they're spraying in these chemtrails to cause all types of physical issues with people, and it's not good. I can't go into details about it right here, but it is not good, what I found out this week. It just irritates me to no end. And they're actually using lasers now with the chemtrails, and that will blow your mind as to how those lasers can work with that chemtrails.
Okay, now Julie says, a fact, the windmills around I-35 down into Oklahoma, she watches on radar, they strengthen them and weaken them. Yes.
Yes, I've told y'all over a year ago that I talked to some oil people, and they were talking about how they were firing off gas wells out there to heat the atmosphere to draw the fronts down. And I made a prediction last year, and it has come true, just exactly like these people told me, that Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, north central Louisiana, up into southern Missouri, central Mississippi, western Tennessee, and Kentucky, they had a zone through there that they were going to be causing severe weather of all types, whether it's tornadoes, flooding, snow, high winds, all these type things. They have targeted that area to draw the wind down into portions of Texas and Oklahoma to make these windmills do what they want them to do.
Thank you, Gerard. I saw the Max popped in and Not a Real Farm. Got a whole bunch of people asking questions. Should we grow our own food in greenhouses to protect our food from the fallout?
Yes, I would strongly advise it. Now, you're not going to get 100% because the wind will bring some things into high tunnels and greenhouses.
And bugs still come in.
And bugs will still get
Disease.
in. Disease. It all still gets in there. But it's very limited. It's not like it would be if it's just out in the opening.
Yeah. And so, with that being said, the Bug Out Gardening Guide, let me find my question. Now, my moderators are ready, and let me tell y'all what we're going to be doing for this one. I'm going to give y'all something, y'all going to answer, and my moderators are watching because they have high-speed internet. Danny and I have a lower speed, and we may not get the right people. So my moderators are going to confer off camera, and they're going to make sure they know which 3 people are going to win the 3 books, the Bug Out Gardening Guide. And what I need you guys to do is to name 3 of Danny's top 6 survival gardening crops. Name 3 of Danny's top 6 survival gardening crops. And the first 3 people that name 3 of them in one comment, the first 3 people will win this. You will contact me, deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com tonight. So I have your addresses.
Mr. Ray Ferguson asking, says, is this our Easter snap? Mr. Ray, we have one more. Actually, we have another cold front coming later in this week. It's just not going to get as cold as this one. And then at the end of March, we have another one coming. And I know that people go, how can you possibly know that? Well, trust me. The end of March, we have another cool spell coming. It's not going to be as cold as this one. But it won't really hurt anything. I wouldn't put
It's going crazy.
I wouldn't put onions and peppers and stuff like that out right now. But I mean, things like your sweet corn, you could probably go ahead and plant. Snap beans, things to this nature. But
this chat's going crazy.
It's going wacko.
Flannel Farms, thank you so much.
Thank you, Flannel
Danny had a blast with you.
I did. I had a blast, Brian. Really, I did. I really enjoyed it.
And if y'all hadn't listened to our podcast, now Brian's going to have his up on YouTube and on podcast, right? It's going to be both. Brian, put that up.
I don't know if Brian's going to put it on both of them or not, but I told him that you'd be up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central Time if you get it edited.
Yeah. And we have a podcast, and I don't know how many of you go and listen, but every week we put up at least one podcast. We tried to do 2 a week, and some weeks we get behind. But we did one this week, and what was it on? Do you remember?
I do so many videos. It's
I don't even remember. Danny and I did a podcast on. It went up yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. We do so many.
Okay, Lippy said we have 3 winners. So you want to tell me which 3, and then you can send me an email with the names afterward. So Miss Lippy's going to give me the 3 names of the
He said
winners.
just on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it's only going to be on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. Ours is on, our podcasts are on Spotify, any of your podcast things. Plus, we have a website, deepsouthhomestead.com. You can find it there if you don't want to do anything with downloads and stuff. Miss Lippy, is she sending it to me on? I don't know where she's putting on.
Who knows?
Oh, there
we are.
is.
Jennifer Brown, Charlene Francis, Judy A. Schroeds.
Okay, Jennifer Brown, Charlene Francis, Judy A. Schroeds. Y'all send me an email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com. And that is the survival garden.
Barb, Brian's channel is The Flannel Farm.
Yeah.
And Brian, you can put your you can put it up if you want to. I don't have a problem with that.
He can't post links, but if he can put the information there, one of our moderators can go to Flannel Farms. It's got an S on the end.
It's got an S on the end. Flannel
Farms. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll give away the other book and the doTERRA in about 10,
Everybody
15
wants to know
minutes.
what was the answer.
Oh, I didn't give y'all I'm sorry.
Yeah, they want to know the answer. I mean, if you did it.
Okay, Danny did a video called 6 Top Survival Gardening Crops. And Miss Lippy and Allison will put up that video link.
We already have.
1 was onions. 2 was garlic. 3 was regular potatoes. 4 was winter squash or pumpkins, either one. 5 was sweet potatoes. And 6 was sugar cane.
All of them met a particular deal that had to do with surviving.
For us.
Yeah, for us now.
All right. Yeah, they put Flannel Farms link up there. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, guys, we've got a lot of stuff going on here. We have busted our tail this week because I'm gonna tell you, the stuff we found out this week that's coming down the pipeline. I'm not sure we're ready for it. I'm going to be honest for you. You know, we do a lot of prepping here, and we try to do everything that we can, but I'm not sure that we're even ready for what I found out is all coming. And it's just, and I didn't even finish I hadn't even finished going through all the stuff that I got to go through to get all the information. There's no telling what other information I'm going to find out. I stopped at one point. I told her, I said, I don't know if I can handle any more right now. I said, it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah, and I know one thing I do want to talk about that some of you will know about, and some of you will say, hey, I've seen that. But over the past, there's my son. Hey, Jesse. The past 2 years or so, we've gotten some pictures that people have sent us, and they're really saying, what is this?
Yes.
And I know several ladies have sent pictures, and they will take pictures looking toward the sun, and it looks like there's an object beside it somewhere. And when and then it's not there. It's just there for a brief, few seconds, 10, 15, 20 seconds, I don't even know. Long enough for them to get a camera out, and then it's gone. And we've seen it on different things. And they're saying that this is something that y'all need to be aware of. Don't take my word for it. I'm not even going to mention what they saying it is. Y'all just start paying attention to the weather, paying attention, because they said before long it will be visible and it can't be hidden anymore, right?
Yeah. Tim was asking, do I think a cub tractor with the cultivators, I'm guessing, would that be a good idea? And the answer is yes, because I think that a true cub, now not one that's converted to a 12-volt system or something like that, one you can still crank by hand if you need to, because they can be set up, if you've got all the plows and equipment, they can be set up to do virtually anything, and they run on very small amount of fuel.
Okay, Life Done Free. He told me what my podcast was. It was about Cool Snap. That's what we talked about on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Life Done Free, because I'd forgotten. When we go get busy and people are visiting and we do things, I just throw something up and it goes out the window. And
everybody's saying Nibiru. Actually, let me explain to y'all something. Nibiru is nothing more than a planet that's in a binary system that's actually, Nibiru is actually evolving. It's part of a planetary system of about 6 or 7 other planets. And Nibiru is not planet, what are they calling it? Planet X or
it's part
Apollos,
of that system.
But it's part of that system.
Yeah.
And Nibiru has come through it's on an elliptical course through our solar system. It does come through so many thousand years. I've done extensive research on it. I mean, it's amazing at all that's out there. If you want to know a lot of the truth about a lot of this stuff and you have access to it, look into Egyptian history. Egyptian history holds the key to a lot of stuff that we're going to be seeing in the next couple of years.
Okay. So, we've had some questions. Let's see if we can get off of that. I use rainwater for my plants. Is that safe? We use it too. So
we use rainwater too. Just understand that there's a lot of aluminum in rainwater. It's going to change the natural pH of your soil. It's going to bind up the phosphorus in it. So you're going to have to add extra phosphorus if you're using rainwater in order to get your plants to bloom and do like it's supposed to.
Apophis?
Yeah, apophis. Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
That is what that's what NASA calls it anyway. Let's put that way.
Yeah, there's lots of names. Wormwood popped up.
Yeah, wormwood is wormwood is actually a biblical term.
Okay.
It just simply means bitter.
Now, talking about wormwood. Now, somebody said it popped up in their garden
3 years in a row. Last year, I let it stay. They say God's trying to tell me something. Wormwood, cul-de-sac, is actually just an herb. It's
very good for you.
They used to use it
in minute cases.
They used to use it in alcoholic drinks.
Yes. Until some people
people started abusing it.
Yeah. Now, back in was it the late 1800s?
Yes.
Many of your bar rooms sold a drink that had wormwood in it.
Yeah.
And as long as you didn't get drunk on it, as long as you just drank a drink, it was healthy for you. The problem came when people would sit and drink one after another, and they would kill over. They'd either get extremely sick, and some died from it. So they quit putting it in drinks.
Austin wants to know, what do we do to control squash bugs? Now, this may sound crazy. I have absolutely zero proof about what I'm fixing to tell you, but we use Dr. Earth's liquid phosphorus. The stuff smells like death. I mean, it is the most horrifying smelling stuff in the world. And we use that around our squash plants, and literally we do not have any squash bugs around our plant. And I don't know if it's because the stuff stinks so bad or what, but it works. Let me just say that.
Okay, so several of them are talking about wormwood and stuff, and wormwood will cleanse the worms from your system.
It'll worm an animal, but if you give a pregnant goat too much of it, it will kill the babies inside her if she's pregnant and mummify them. I mean, there's lots of things it'll do, but it is actually has its benefits.
Yeah. So, talking about that, let's go ahead with the doTERRA now. Miss Tammy, let me find my questions and my stuff. What did I do with it? Tammy Hadaway. And we're going to put her link, but she sent 3 bottles of doTERRA. This one is Terra Shield, which is a bug spray if you're having issues with bugs outside. Peppermint, which Danny uses religiously for stomach issues.
Yep.
And lavender, which is awesome for headaches. Plus, it has many other benefits, but I use it if I get a headache. I like lavender. So we're going to give all 3 bottles away, 1 to each person. So the moderators are going to be watching to see who the first 3 people are that comments. Let me put this down. Find my question here. What machine did Danny make for me? That's a survival machine for us that makes something that kills viruses or bacteria. It was a video. I did a video on making it, and he did the machine DIY. So what machine did Danny make for me that helps make something in a quart jar that will kill viruses and bacteria? And that way we'll know. What was the name that was used for squash bugs? Dr. Earth?
Dr. Earth's liquid phosphorus.
Okay. They said they love lavender. Yes, lavender. You already got a winner? Okay.
Yeah.
Lippy says they have 3. We need 3 winners because I have 3 bottles. I'm sending out 1 bottle to each winner. So Miss Lippy will tell me the 3 winners in just a minute, and y'all contact me tonight with an email with your address. Let me find out who the winners are. Y'all should have herbs on your place. Danny and I, a lot of people don't realize how many herbs we actually have around here.
Yeah.
They're planted in all kinds of places and sporadically, and I do have an herb garden that has several things in it. But just in case something happens to stuff in one place, we have it all over the yard, some in the greenhouses, some at the cabin. We have it everywhere.
There's a lot of people got it right, but it's only the first 3.
All right, Lake Effect Farms, Susan Leeway, and Mopar Man. Lake Effect Farm, Susan Leeway, and Mopar Man. Send me your information, and I will send those out. I don't know who will get what. I'll just put 1 in each bag and mail it out. Danny, buy a pomelo fruit tree? What is that?
I don't know what. I have no clue what a pomelo fruit tree is. We don't have them around here.
I haven't heard of that before.
We don't have them around here.
All right. We'll give away the other book around 9 o'clock. But now the colloidal silver machine was the answer. And I've made colloidal silver since the mid-90s. And that's what my kids were raised. If they got sick with any kind of infection, that's what they were getting. Bacteria, viruses, whatever. We used it for everything. And I had a machine made back in the 90s, and it kind of quit on us after Danny and I married. And 2 or 3, well, it's been about 3 or 4 years ago, Danny made a new machine, and he did a video. Hey, Doug and Stacy. He did a video showing the colloidal silver machine start to finish, how to make one at home.
Yeah.
Lots of people use 9-volt batteries, and that is doable too.
Yeah, you can, actually the 9-volt batteries does a better job. But
yeah, 3 9-volt batteries.
But they just go down on you so quick. People want to know cutworm control advice. I use several different things. You can, and I know this may sound very simple. You can stick a toothpick down beside your tomato plant, or pepper plants, whatever you want to do. You can wrap aluminum foil around the bottom of them. You can take your old paper towel rolls or your toilet paper rolls and take a pair of scissors and cut them in half and make 2 little cylinders. Slide them down over your plants when they're real little and put them in the ground. Keeps cutworms off of them. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do to keep cutworms out of there.
Now the pomelo is a grapefruit. I would love to have a grapefruit.
It's like a grapefruit.
Yeah, I just haven't seen a grapefruit. When we go places, we've seen oranges, lemons, limes, but not grapefruit.
Yeah,
yet.
and you have to be careful now if you're using grapefruits and you take certain medications, because grapefruits will tamper with certain medications.
Yeah. And I wanted to mention something that I saw on my colloidal silver video. People were asking, where did I get the rods? My original rods came from a company that sold silver machines, and I bought the rods from them. But then I bought a whole coil, and it has to be 99.99% pure silver. Do not get any kind of silver with any kind of alloy in it, any other thing. It has to be 99.99% pure silver. And I got it through a jewelry company.
Sherry, no, wireworms do not do the same thing as cutworms. Wireworms will actually destroy things like your potatoes, your sweet potatoes, your Irish potatoes. They get into a whole host of things that are like turnip roots, all this kind of stuff, rutabagas, things like this underneath the soil. They're very destructive. They're microscopic, just tiny little worms that just bore holes in all kinds of things.
They say it's sweeter than grapefruit. I would like that, yeah. That's something we may have to look for. We're fixing to put some more trees in the high tunnel. And somebody wanted to know, why are you putting them in the high tunnel? You want to explain that?
Because if I put them in the high tunnel, I can take better care of them. And I can keep the elements from outside off of them. I can keep them pruned back. I can control the size of the tree a lot better. I mean, there's lots of rooms. Pests, insects, all kinds of stuff like that. I can really do a better job of controlling all that as long as they're in the high tunnels.
Jonathan, yes, I would like to have a cutting off of it and see if we can get it started.
Okay.
We have had lots of great luck in the high tunnels with fruit trees, and we're just really glad that they're doing as well. We just wanted to be able to put them in the bigger high tunnel and then use the 2 here at the house for vegetables, and that's our goal, is to get, and I've already got lots of stuff in mine going right now.
Sandra, I don't read information to be able to put it in a description. I get on the phone with people. I talk to people in conference calls, I mean, different personal email chats, I mean, things to this nature. I don't go out looking at videos and, you know, all this type of stuff.
Abama wants to know, has anybody noticed a gray bar popping up in the live feed? Last couple of live feeds I've seen this bar. Who's watching us? That I wouldn't know. I don't see it on our side.
I don't see a gray bar on our side.
Does anybody else see a gray bar? Yes, our moderators are awesome. They do a great job.
Do we like fish fertilizer, Jennifer? Yes, we urge people to buy all the fish emulsion that you can right now, because fertilize in the next 6 to 8 months is going to become almost non-existent.
In Ron's book, he does mention how to make certain fertilizers and bug repellents at home. He does have recipes in there, so the people that are getting that book will get that in there, how to make them at home.
Amanda says, we need a way to find out what you're finding out. Amanda, I can't give away who I talk to or what I do.
We give out.
I give out hints.
And you have to go digging.
And you got to look for it, because if I go to start talking about some things, I'm going to get in serious trouble. I will give you, some
are seeing it and some don't.
I will give y'all hints as I go along, and I've already given you several tonight in what I've been telling you already without going too far.
Okay. They say yes only when a message is deleted. Okay, now that may make sense. If somebody puts a comment that our moderators think is bad, they can delete the comment, and they're saying there's a bar comes up then. So I don't know. That may be on y'all's side. Should a solar panel be in a Faraday bag?
No. It needs to be grounded. I can tell you that.
Thoughts on underground greenhouses?
That's called a wallapini. I think they are fantastic. I would build one in a heartbeat. As a matter of fact, Wanda will tell you.
We would already had one if he could have done it.
If I could have done it out here in this front where I wanted to, but we put a pond in there instead, I would have done one in a heartbeat.
What is the biggest threat we face this year? Food shortage.
And
weather.
Weather is going to be your greatest threat this year.
Which leads to food shortage.
Will lead to food shortage, which will lead to crop failures. It's going to lead to loss of life, destruction of private properties. There's lots of things, and weather would be the number one thing that I would be watching for.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac, so she wants a wallapini so bad.
I tell you what, if there was a way, if I could have one, I would have it.
All right. Can you link a video of what type fertilizer do you like?
We're trying to promote the Jadam type fertilizers. We have a book. I don't know where it's at. It's called Jadam. Jadam. Organic gardening. It's from Korea. It's a Korean type gardening. In this book, he tells you how to make very low cost fertilize off of your property that your plants need to grow and do their best. And we actually have several subscribers that's actually trying this process out right now to see how it works. And they're going to be letting us know, as well as us trying some ourselves, to see if it's as good as using the other fertilizers. Where most people use organic fertilizers, they don't understand that when you use an organic fertilizer, it takes around 4 months, between 3 and 4 months, for that fertilizer to actually be beneficial to your plants. Now, when you first put it out, about 10% of it will go to your plants, but then the other 90% of it is not available for a very long time. And people wonder why using organic fertilizers, their plants aren't doing as well as they should. It's because
then all of a sudden they jump.
And then at the very end, everything starts kind of looking pretty good, and they're like, well, what's going on? Well, you've literally got to have it in the ground 3 to 4 months before you actually need it.
Yeah. And we've been experimenting with all kinds now. We've got our ponds where we can use the fish water and fish stuff. We've got worms where we'll have the worm castings. We're going to be using some Jadam. We've come up with all kinds of different ways. We've got a bin out here that we're going to show later how we're going to be working with it and saving it for, I guess that'll be next year, right?
Well, it may be this year.
Later in the year. We can't use it right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to show what we do. We're trying to figure out ways to use what we have and create fertilizers. Plus, we bought all kinds of fish emulsion and things like
They're
that.
asking where do we get ours from? We got ours from Hall's Tool.
Yes.
What kind of soil test do we use? We use our county extension service. It costs $8. We go in, take our soil, get the little box from them, do our soil samples, and they mail it off to Mississippi State University. And we tell them what we're wanting to plant there and stuff like that. They send back the soil analysis of our garden, and they tell us how much to add for the particular vegetables that we're going to be planting.
With the weather that was coming, do you suggest planting in the ground or greenhouse? We're doing both.
We're doing both just to be safe. We're actually doing raised beds. We're doing container gardens. We're doing in the garden, out in the field. We're doing in high tunnels. I mean, we're doing it every way we can because you never put all of your eggs in one basket.
And somebody said, what about the cyclone bomb? You never heard about a cyclone bomb until lately.
Yeah.
And now they're calling all this weather that keeps moving across, like Danny said, coming through the middle of America. They're calling it cyclone bombs. And so, like today, we got out and covered everything we could cover because we have, 12 hours of possibly below freezing weather tonight that could kill almost everything we have outside. And that's not good. But from that point on, we don't have any below freezing. It's one night that we could lose everything. And they're calling it a cyclone bomb.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they're calling it. Never heard it before, but we're planning on trying to survive it. We covered everything we could to hopefully survive what they're calling a cyclone bomb.
Yeah. The cyclone bomb is manipulated weather is what it is. And that's all you can say about it. It is manipulated weather.
Yeah. Let's see. Haven't found
phyllite for Jadam fertilizer yet.
I would have to look it up and see if there's something you can replace. Usually, whatever they have there, there's something that has a different name that you can replace it with.
Let's see. Gail said they had snow today in Virginia, which
Wanda said they did too.
There's a lot of people who had snow. Even Ms. Lippy on here, I think, might have had a little bit.
Mainly this cyclone thing is going middle America, but we got the tail end swipe of the cold part. That's what we're getting. We always get the tail end of it all, usually.
Yeah, what they're doing, guys, is getting everybody used to hearing these words like cyclone bombs, derechos. Hurricanes are fixing to probably start calling hypercanes because the weather's going to become so intense. The ocean's going to become so unstable that you probably can't get out on it in small crafts anymore. You're probably going to have to use larger ships and boats to get out there in order to be halfway safe. The ocean is heating up drastically because of underwater volcanoes are erupting. They're not telling people about that. A lava is running out on the ocean floors, heating the ocean, and all it takes is just a half a degree of temperature in an ocean temperature to change the weather patterns and stuff like this. Guys, I could just keep going, but I can't. This is another hint.
How safe would the water be from a hand-dug well that hasn't been used in over 30 years? Are there any test kits or anything other than a health department?
Yeah, I would just take it to a health department. I mean, if it was me, if I was that concerned about it. Or I would buy me a Alexa Pure. We have a link in our description down below. You can put it through an Alexa Pure, and it'll take out any impurities in the water of any kind like that if you feel like you don't need to drink it for some reason. I would advise an Alexa Pure anyway for what's coming this coming year.
To purify water.
To purify water, yes.
What percentage shade cloth do you recommend, and do we take ours off during the fall and winter?
For where we live at and the angle of the sun where we're at, 40 degrees works best for us. We have tried all other degree shades. None of them have worked well except 40 degree. No, we do not take ours off. Like today, it barely got above freezing here today. Our high tunnels stayed in the high 80s, almost 90 degrees on the inside of them with the shade cloth on them.
Jonathan, thank you. You can just send it, to our P.O. box. That's fine. The tree. Or the cutting from it. I'm having to try and read fast, and it jumps about the time I start reading.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're saying that phyllite is mostly small grains of mica and quartz. Yeah, that might be a little bit difficult to find. I did order, what was that one thing that I did order? Something else to add into our, I forgot what it was. I ordered a couple of things that helps with fertilizing, and I'll have to look.
Oh, you at that seaweed kelp stuff?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you ordered that. I noticed that.
Yeah. If you will, the Deep South discount on the Alexapure, look down in the link and below our description, and look in there and click on that link, and it'll have the Alexapure. That is our discount. If you go on the My Patriot Supply link, just go there. It's higher than it is if you go through us.
Kumar, there is a place down here. It's called DeSoto Properties in South Mississippi. They're selling land on the next road over from us, just large tracts of it, 5 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres. They got all down the road over there. They've got land for sale. I mean, they're pushing and clearing, putting in power lines. I mean, they're getting this stuff ready to go.
Your daughter, Danny's daughter,
my daughter,
realtor.
Yes, Jennifer is a realtor. She has a place that she's fixing to put up. It's just south of us right here.
She did put it up yesterday.
62 acres with a with a home on it and everything. Now, I don't know a price.
I didn't see a price, but it was 62 acres with an older home that's a fixer-upper. It's livable, but it's fixer-upper.
Yeah.
62 acres.
It's in a social community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, get in touch with us, send us an email, and I'll send your name and stuff to Jennifer. And because she said it was a decent, and I looked at the land. The land looked decent. It looked like some good, pretty flat land from some of it that I saw. I don't know about all of it.
If y'all can contact my daughter, Jennifer from Cameron Bell.
Let me see if I got a...
I don't think we have one of her cards right here.
I got one somewhere, but I don't remember where I put it.
I think it's Cameron Bell Properties, Jennifer Johnson.
Bell. That's it, Cameron Bell.
It's Cameron Bell Properties in Gulfport, Mississippi. Jennifer Johnson, and Jennifer can hook you up with property. I mean, you just tell her where you're looking for property at, and she'll get you something. Lawana says that DeSoto is selling land in Greene, George counties too. Yes, they are. They're selling it all around us right here.
Except the land that we want.
Yep.
They don't own it.
They don't own the land that we want, but
All right.
Oh, and I'm going to tell y'all, if anybody's looking for a chicken plucker, I have a homemade one I made several years ago. We actually have videos on it. I'm going to be putting that thing up for sale for about $200, and it is a very nice chicken plucker. It's a homemade one made by, I used the Whiz Bang book to build this chicken plucker out of, and we got videos on it if you want to look at them. I mean, if you live close to me and you're looking for one, I'm going to be selling this one because I've got a new one now, and I don't really need this one anymore. So it's just something I wanted to throw out there to give you guys first shot at it before we actually try to sell it any other way.
Okay, Allison picked up Jennifer's email. So Allison has Jennifer's email there, so y'all can email her. How much is land an acre here? It varies?
It varies from location to location. It can be, I have...
Billy said the land you want's up here.
Oh.
Keep on, Billy.
Keep on, Billy. Billy, There's some things coming in your direction up there, my friend. I'm going to keep y'all in my prayers.
Somebody said they have 50 acres in western Kentucky. We don't want to be in Kentucky either. Right now, I like where we're at, but that could change tomorrow.
It could change tomorrow, but there are certain things that's coming on the face of this earth that tells me my location's not really bad.
It may not be the best, but it's where God put us.
Yeah. Starla Dork Wagon Holophone says, I will buy it. Let me know.
Starla, email Jennifer.
Email Jennifer at that email that that Allison put up. She'll hook you right up.
Yeah, because it is a fixer-upper house. It is the older, like 60s, late 60s, early 70s house. I don't know if it's block or if it's got slate on it or what. It just gave me that idea when I glanced at it. But some of the land was flat and looked nice, and I just didn't get too much of it.
Louis says, will the chicken plucker work on ducks? You know, I don't know.
We tried turkeys, and they were pretty big.
Turkeys were just a little bit too big for it. I mean, it did them, but they were just a little bit too big. Now, ducks is almost impossible to get the feathers off of regardless. You have to put a lot of dishwashing soap in the water when you scald a duck to get the feathers off of him.
Okay, now, how many years of survival food should people put away? 2 to 7 to 10. How many?
Don't do less than 3. If you can do more, then that's great.
But have at
least 3. Do not do less than 3 if you can.
And for people that are just starting, work towards 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months will help. But if you're just starting, somebody gave a good tip the other day. I think it was Miss Lippy, but I can't remember. She'll get me because I don't remember who said it. I watched too much stuff going through my head. $5 a week. Go buy $5 worth of stuff a week, and you'd be surprised in 6 months what you have extra put up. If you can do 10 a week.
Oh, she said, Starla said no, the chicken plucker.
Oh, she wants the chicken plucker.
Okay, that's what I started saying.
Send me an email.
Send us an email. What is my opinion about Florida in the future underwater? The possibility's real high. Let me put it that way. It's not going to be all of a sudden.
You'll see it. I mean,
it's going to be a gradual thing, but the possibility's really high.
How do you protect food from fires or tornadoes? You really don't.
You can't. I mean,
Danny and I have a cellar, and an earthquake could shake everything and knock it off. Even though we've got it protected, we got things going on to help with that. Things in our house could fall off. Earthquakes, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods. There's just nothing you can do. You get up and walk away and be thankful God spared your life is all I can tell you.
I am born in California, want to move to Mississippi, yes or no? If you don't bring California with you, you leave your California ways over there and come to Mississippi, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you, San Diego and San Francisco is a hairpin away from breaking off and sliding into the ocean. Let me tell you that. There is new information out this past week that the tecton plates underneath it, all they need is one little fraction for them to slip off into the ocean.
But we met Lucian and Barbara a couple of weeks ago, and Barbara's from California.
Barbara's from California, yeah.
Very sweet lady. She said, I don't even want to tell you where I'm from. And we kind of laughed, and she said, I'm from California. And we said, we don't hold that against you. She said, most people do. She said, people don't like me being from California. And it's just kind of funny, though. People get this knowledge that Mississippi's backwards. We're not exactly backwards.
No.
We just take care of our own and watch everybody else, right?
No. Yeah, somebody said California invaded Texas. Leave California there. That's what we always tell people. I mean, Wanda and I have a joke that we talk about a lot of time. It has nothing to do with the people of California. It has to do with the governmental system in California. Every product we buy around here has a sticker on it that says Proposition 65 causes cancer in California. And I told her, I says, I don't want to live in California because everything we buy causes cancer over there.
Yeah, I don't see how you don't have cancer.
I don't see how
everything causes
everything. Even my generator I bought from California says it causes cancer in California.
Yeah.
Do you think Missouri is a safe place to be? If you're in southwestern Missouri, Barb, it's probably okay, but let me tell you, you're above the 35th parallel. Pay attention to the riddle I'm fixing to use. You're above the 35th parallel. Anything above the 35th parallel is going to be very difficult to grow food in the coming years. So get yourself a high tunnel or a wallopini or something in order to be able to grow food, because your weather's going to become so erratic that it's going to be unpredictable. You're going to have all 4 seasons sometimes in a day. So that's just a hint.
Yeah. All right, so we've got one more book I want to give away right quick because it is almost 9 o'clock, and that is this one right here. The question for the Old Fart Survival Guide. Now, this one has all kinds of things, how to make snares. It has some gardening tips. I think a little of everything. Guns, the silver fire rocket stoves, different homemade rocket stoves, how to heat. I mean, it's all in here. The question for that one, Danny, what was Danny's survival tip for the bathroom? Danny's survival tip for the bathroom. He did a video where he was telling my grandkids some survival tips for the bathroom. Let's see if anybody can figure that one out. The first 3 people that can figure out what Danny was telling the kids for the bathroom, his survival lesson for the day for the grandkids. This is an old one.
We'll have to wait and see. Everybody's asking, is my place a safe place?
We don't know. Our place may not even be a safe place.
It depends, guys. Do yourself a favor. Another hint. Pull up nuclear power plants on the internet. Look at where they're located. Check out the wind direction. If there's a disaster, like it's in Chernobyl or Ukraine right now, where things are beginning to melt down, look at the wind direction from nuclear power plants, and then you will have your answer if you're in a safe zone.
I see lots of them, but I don't see the answer.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. I want to be sure I was right.
Yeah. I see one, but I don't know how many before that. I'm not going to say who because I don't know who was the first one.
There's one right there.
Mm-hmm. Lippy will find them. So Danny did a video back.
I did a video. It was a Boy Scout video, actually.
It was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Our grandkids were in a tornado. It hit their trailer and shook it, and plus it knocked off a porch and done some damage and stuff around the house, but it scared them so bad. And the next week they came here and it was raining and they were pacing and stuff, and they kept wanting to go to the cellar, And finally, Danny was looking at the radar, and it was during the spring, and there was a line of thunderstorms coming through that was really severe that had the possibility of tornadoes in it. So we said, okay, let's take them down to the cellar just in case. And so the kids were just ecstatic that they were going to the cellar because they didn't want to be up here if a tornado came through. And the winners are Brooke Kranitz, Laura D, and Dana Green. Brooke Kranitz, Laura D, and Dana Green. Thank you, Miss Lippy.
You have 3 of them.
Because there's 3 of these books.
Okay, there's 3 of those books. Okay.
Yes, there's 3 of these books.
Okay.
And the answer was Danny told them to use 1 sheet of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And so he went through this whole old Boy Scout routine about using 1 sheet of toilet paper, and that's on the video that we did down in the cellar. And the next week, my daughter, Kate, was only, what, 5, 6 years old?
About 5 or 6 years old, yeah.
The next week, my daughter told me that Kate come in there going, Mama, I got poopy on my hand. And she said, how did you get poop on your hand? And he says, I was trying the toilet paper like Pawpaw told me with one piece and it don't work. I was dying out laughing. It was so funny.
Okay.
So guys, just check out all of your stuff, and every place has its problems. Where we're at, we know we have an issue. Well, how many miles from us? Less than 50 miles?
What now?
We know we have one plant
we
less
have,
than 50 miles.
We have a very hot spot. Probably it's a little bit more than 50, maybe 60, maybe 60 miles from
Not
us.
far. Not far enough, put it that way.
Yeah. But the wind is not necessarily in our direction.
So we're okay. But everybody, I mean, if you live out near Yellowstone, you know, there's places that has
it doesn't
issues.
matter where you go. Check what I told you. Tennessee is the worst state to live in, let me tell you. And it's because there's so many nuclear power plants in the state of Tennessee.
If the wind blows in any direction.
Any direction in Tennessee. But let me say this. When you're looking at nuclear power plants now, there's two different kinds of nuclear power plants. You have to look at the nuclear power plant that has the uranium in it. Not just a nuclear power plant where they are creating power that's run off of nuclear motors and stuff of this nature. You've got to have the one that has the uranium that creates the nuclear power.
All right. So we have been on here long enough. We hope that y'all got a little bit of information. Do you have anything else you want to share before we... Because I'm tired. I'm still dealing with this tooth issue, guys. Let me tell them a little about that right quick before we get off. Monday I called because I was in severe pain Saturday night and Sunday. Monday I called and it would come and go. But some of that could have been pain medicine, some, you know, whatever. And when I called, the lady says, I don't have an appointment today, so, you know, and she said, if it's not hurting all the time, you know, just ride it out and see how it's done because it was a severe surgery. Well, by Wednesday, I was hurting so bad I couldn't hardly stand it. So we went back in there. I just pretty much told them I had to come. I didn't give them a chance to tell me. They said they didn't have an appointment that day, but I just told them I had to come. And she found that I had a dry socket, and I'd been dealing with that a week and a half. And she had left a piece of a jawbone poking up, so she had to take that down. And so I'm still having issues here. It's not quite gone away. It's better than it was last week.
Mr. John came by for a visit today, and I'm not going to say his last name, but his wife is in very critical condition as far as she has bad restless leg syndrome, a lot of other very volatile health issues that goes along with it. I'm not going to give all of her stuff away. And he asked me today to personally remember her in prayer. So guys, I want, his name's Linda, right? I believe it was Linda. Ms. Linda, in prayer. The Lord will know who you're talking about. So we want to definitely remember her. I promised him that I would do this, and I'm going to make sure I do it.
Y'all, I've used a bottle of cloves. I've used about half a bottle of clove oil in the last 2 weeks, believe me. I use clove oil all the time.
She's used clove oil. She's used wet tea bags. I mean, she's used everything. Gauze. As a matter of fact, yesterday I had to go in and take the gauze out of a hole down in her tooth where they put the gauze in there. I had to take it out because it didn't come out on its own. And
it left a huge gap.
Yeah. And
now it's sore under here. It's not hurting like it did last weekend, but it's hurting. Like surgery pain now. Last week it was a toothache pain.
Yeah.
So it's different pains now from before.
Yeah. Guys, it's oh man, there's so much to talk about and not enough time to talk about it.
And a lot of people asked about what would you do if there was no dentist. That's something else on the survival thing. buy clove oil. I have several little bottles of clove oil, but I just used half of one, so I'm going to have to talk to Miss Tammy about getting some more from doTERRA. But you can get it through local, what do you call them, pharmacies.
You can get them through your local pharmacy.
Usually now. And clove oil will numb the pain. There's not much you can do with a toothache. I asked Danny, could he pull a tooth if I actually had to have it done? And he said, I don't know about that. So I'm not sure.
I can do anything.
He said he wasn't sure I could handle it if he did.
I'm not sure she could handle it. I could probably handle it, but I'm not sure she could.
He wasn't sure he could pull my tooth and me handle it because I can't handle pain.
Yeah.
I do really good. I've handled it for over 3 weeks now, I guess, but I'm not good at it.
Okay. Does it matter if a nuclear power plant's closed? Well, it depends on if it has a nuclear reactor in it, or if it's got spent uranium rods or whatever in it. Those are the kind of things you have to look at there.
Yeah, I've had to do the salt water.
Yeah, she's done all kinds of things.
I've got like all kinds of junk that I've been doing, and it just ain't working.
We've got to really. Guys, we got to really pray hard. This year, I told y'all at the first of this past year that the year of 2022 would be called the year of death before it's over with. And not long after that, the war in Ukraine has broke out, and this is only the beginning. There is so much yet to come through this year that just pray for one another. We must lift one another up. We must pray for one another in these perilous times. And there's a question that went through 2 or 3 times. Do I think we're in the 7-year tribulation yet? There's a few things I haven't seen prophetically happen that would lead me to believe that the 7-year tribulation has begun. There's a peace treaty that's got to be made with Israel. Now, part of that treaty's been made. Another thing is Damascus has to be completely destroyed and was inhabitable. And in order for it to be inhabitable, that means there must be a lot of nuclear waste there where people just can't live there anymore. Kind of like Chernobyl is right now. There's just other things that's got to take place prophetically before I'll actually make the prediction and say, hey, with the tribulation probably has begun. I'm looking for a couple of more things to take place before I'll actually believe we're actually there.
I took antibiotics and then I took steroids and now I'm not on anything. She didn't give me anything, but I'm taking, I have turmeric and the colloidal silver and stuff like that here, and garlic.
How do we keep up with the chat? It's not easy.
We miss about 3/4.
I miss a lot of it, but our moderators are very good at helping us out with it.
Yeah, they take and answer questions. If you'll watch, the moderators will answer questions and put up links and stuff. If they can help out, they answer probably as many questions as we do sometimes. All right, so do we want to...
Anyone who won anything tonight, make sure you send us your information.
Yes. Get me an email tonight because I will be packing things up and getting them ready to go out Monday. And lots of times on crazy days when I do giveaways, if I give away 2 or 3 things, usually one person will contact me. And so I just send my others to people that I know could use them. So we want to thank Ron for the books, and we want to thank Tammy Hadaway for the oils, and we hope they'll be a blessing to the people that receive them.
Yeah. Barb says Damascus is partially destroyed. Yes, it's partially destroyed, but not completely. There's lots of things. Amos, the book of Amos talks a lot about what we need, what we'll be going through. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to go into a bunch of stuff. We're getting too close to the end of it. But guys, it's let's see. Okay, we're getting down to where the trolls are starting to
Yeah.
They always do this.
Our moderator's going to be hitting trolls like crazy.
Yeah.
They'll be whopping a troll.
Yeah.
Y'all go for it, and we're going to pray, and I'm going to go see if I can get some more clove oil. I'm living on clove oil right now, y'all.
Is the English P manual available as an ebook?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
All three of the books are available as ebooks on
Yeah.
the English pea, the carrot, and the sweet potato are available as ebooks. Several people have bought them as ebooks. I just hope y'all are downloading them and you pay attention that they're ebooks, because one of them will say ebooks and the other will say hard copy.
Yeah.
So you know what you're getting when you order.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to go to the Lord in prayer where we can all get off here. And don't forget to turn your clocks back tonight. Mm-hmm. Tonight we actually go back to the time that I like the best, the real old time. Yeah, that's what I'm actually looking for. Father, we come tonight before you, Lord. We're living in some real troublesome times. Father, you told us about these in Luke, and you told us about these in Matthew and Mark, and Father, we know that these times have to happen. You tell us in these particular passage in Luke 21, Matthew 24, to not be troubled about these times. They must come to pass. And you also tell us that the end is not yet. So there's lots of things that's hidden in the scriptures there for us. The book of Malachi, the latter part of the book of Malachi, you know, the middle of Amos, and Father, all these different books, you just give us all these hints. Joel, you give us hints in the book of Joel, Jeremiah. All these hints are there for us, Lord, about what's coming in our future. Daniel, Ezekiel, all these things are there. You just leave it up to us. We have to go hunt it. And Father, thank you for giving us the book that we can go to find out the answers for all things coming upon the earth. And Lord, the one thing we have to keep in mind, as you told Solomon, told us, through your inspiration, there is nothing new under the sun. Hint, hint in that. There is nothing new under the sun. And Father, open your people's eyes to what they can see and know that what's coming upon the earth is not new. It has happened before. And Father, give us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to be able to deal with what's coming. Help us to not allow fear to play a part in anything that takes place. Help us to understand that fear is not of you, Father. Fear is of the devil. And for us to rebuke it in the name of Christ when it comes upon us. He has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, peace, and a sound mind. All these things, Lord, you promise us. And Father, I pray that people will begin to delve in more in your word, and they'll go to looking for things that are hidden in the scriptures that plainly tells what's coming upon the earth. Things like the heavens being shaken, the moon wobbling, all the things taking place, the earth quaking, the earth going through birthing pains, all these things that's mentioned in scriptures, Father, that is literally at our doorsteps waiting to be revealed. As a matter of fact, in the next few years, there's nothing that can be hidden because it will all be visible to the eye. Another hint given to your people there, Father. And Lord, I do pray that those tonight that are having lots of physical issues, Mr. John's wife, Mr. Ray Ferguson's wife, all the different ones that mention things here tonight, Lord, I can't remember everybody's names, but Father, I just pray that tonight as we go to the Lord on their behalf, that you will heal their bodies, that you will help them to be able to find peace and comfort, Lord. Those that's lost loved ones, I pray that you'll meet their needs, Lord. There's just so many things here tonight that people that need to have their needs met. People that are looking for homesteads, Lord, I pray that you'll give them the property that they're asking for, if it's within your will. Financial things, Lord, are going to be really big here in the very near future. Another hint to your people, Father. Lord, we just pray that you'll give them wisdom to know what to do with their finances and how to handle them. And Lord, we just want to take tonight's opportunity and say thank you for being so good to us. I pray that the things that come upon the earth will not harm your people, Father. but that they can have a protective hedge put about them so that they can be able to live their life with as much peace, joy, and happiness as they possibly can, Father. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Okay. Oh, man.
All right, one thing on these books, both Ron's books on Amazon, if you get them on Kindle, I think they're free. If you have a Kindle account, you can listen on it or download them on Kindle and read. And the Audible books, you can listen, I think, for free. I think I'm right on that. So go over to Amazon and look. Kindle is a great way to get books for a small amount of money or sometimes free. And Audible books is the same way. It costs very little or it is free lots of times if you have a Amazon account, put it that way. Or either a Kindle account or an Audible book account, whatever they ask for. It's a great way to find books of all kinds. Make sure you move your clocks forward.
Move your clocks forward. Give us a thumbs up before you get off here, guys. If you do that, then YouTube throws this into an algorithm that really puts it out there where people can get certain information. And tonight, I left a lot of hints in this particular video about things that we could look for in the future. That is one of those things that I can't go any deeper on here. I just have to leave small hints.
Y'all, a lot of people said something about my hat. My hair was a mess, and when I have a headache and the tooth pain and stuff, my hair hanging over my eyes bothers me, so I had to pull it all back, grab the hat. And one of my subscribers had sent me this hat a couple of years ago. So that's been something that I throw on occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, set your clocks ahead. Yeah, we're going back to the old time. Ahead.
Spring forward.
Spring forward, yep.
It's the only way I can remember it. Spring forward.
In the spring, we spring forward. In the fall, we fall back. I don't know. They did that for bankers. I know why they done it. For congressmen.
Because they can't keep up.
No, it's so they could go play golf after work and everything. That's what it all boiled down to.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I'm trying to look see if there's anything.
Nah. Let's see. I'm headed to take and put some clove oil on here and try to chill it. Like now, it's 9:20 our time. It would be 10:20, right?
Yeah.
That's the way you figure it.
Yeah.
Go spring forward. You lose an hour tonight.
You're going to lose an hour tonight.
Sorry about that, guys, but y'all losing an hour.
I'll actually like it better myself, but...
Yeah, we actually like the time better.
How are the catfish going in the lake? Johnny says. They are growing fast. They're up to about 3 and 4 pounds now. They're doing really good. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about going and getting me some more little 6 or 8 inch fingerlings and putting them in there with them.
And we also have in the back brim that's about this big around. They're huge.
They're huge. The brim are huge.
So
got nice bass, nice brim. You know.
Are you doing any more Bible studies?
Yeah, I've got one. I probably want to do on some biblical numerology. I'm actually working on that a little bit because I want to be able to. A lot of people have asked in the past for me to do one on the numerical structure inside the Bible, and I might do that. It's been a long, long time since I taught on biblical numerology. But
I wonder if we could find your old papers.
I don't know if we could find my old papers or not. I used to teach it to college students, but I don't know. It's been a long time.
If we could find some of his old study papers where he had it wrote out and he don't have to write it out again.
That would be great.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Most of it I have memorized, but I mean, there's some things I'll forget.
Well, you can always look it up again.
Ray Ferguson said, "What about the 2 pigs? Well, one of them's done gone to freezer camp, and the other one ain't far away."
Yeah. So, guys, we'll talk to y'all Monday. Probably.
Probably so.
And
be sure to check out Flannel Farms YouTube channel.
Tomorrow night.
Monday night.
You said tomorrow night.
Monday night, 7 p.m. Monday night Central Standard Time.
I think you said tomorrow night, and he says, okay, I'll try and work on it tomorrow. So I'm not sure, y'all. Look at Flannel Farms tomorrow night. Look at it Monday night. Cause
it'll be a premiere, all I say.
Just find him and keep your eyes on his channel.
Tina, yes, I did hear about the Iranians, hitting our embassies or whatever you want to call it.
Thank you, Angela. We are all covered. I was asking him about the coast where I live. Okay. I'm not sure which coast. Anything on the coast could have some
any coastline in the whole United States. I think she said she was in Virginia. It might have been. I'm trying to go back in my mind. I'm trying to remember all the chats that I've seen go through here.
But I mean, even us, we're 30 miles.
We're 30 miles inland. We're at 350 feet sea level, above sea level.
And
that's really pushing the limit. Let me say that. Anything below 300 feet is really pushing the limit.
We know we're pushing the limit, but
yeah,
we're also on like a hill here in our town. And so if water starts coming in, it's got to go in the low areas before it comes up our hill. Not to say that it won't get up our hill, but the low areas have to fill up first.
Weather permitting, could you do your next porch time on the dock of the pond? That depends on the wind and the weather.
The wind's been crazy.
The wind has just been crazy here.
We would have to catch a really calm day for him to do the on the pier again. He did one last year, I think, on the pier, and it would be better.
Kevin Costner and his band will be in Tennessee for the Homesteading Gathering in June, close to Columbia, Tennessee.
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not worried, Angelina. I'm not worried about Keesler being at my back door. Keesler's not a big target. There's another place around here that's
worse than that.
Way worse than Keesler.
Yeah. All right.
New here. Where are y'all from? Raina, what is that, Willikins? We are from South Mississippi, about 30 miles inland from the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
Did we hear about Biden going to the hospital? Yes, I heard that. I don't know how much truth there are to it, but I did hear it.
They were just joking. There was a joke about he couldn't stop Putin.
Oh, okay.
That was
I did hear about it, but I haven't.
No, I don't know past that.
I haven't actually been on the net to look at anything really.
That was a joke that's going around right now. All right, guys.
Hold on. Let me do this. You're going to mess us up here. Guys, we got to get out of here. We got a lot of things to do. People's going to lose an hour of sleep tonight, so we will see y'all in the next video. Hold on.